CTV News with Sarah Freemark.
Firearms being used are replica firearms that actually look real.
A warning tonight from police after a number of recent cases include weapons difficult to distinguish from the real thing. A stark reminder tonight from York Regional Police, gunplay is no joke. This after a rising number of complaints from concerned citizens reporting what they believe are teens carrying guns on our streets. Let's bring in CTV's Jack Morris. He joins us live tonight with more on what's been fueling the trend behind this all. Jack.
Well, Sarah, it's a senior year tradition that police are warning kids not to get involved with. What seems like a little bit of fun could end up being a whole lot of danger.
When I say I've never felt like I've been closer to death than Friday, I really mean it. I mean, there's about 4 or 5 guns pointed at me.
A teen from Indiana describes the moment he was arrested while playing senior assassin. The phenomenon sweeping high schools across the country, teens hunting each other with water or Nerf guns. The game happening all the time, everywhere.
Competing to eliminate fellow participants by shooting them with water guns, gel projectiles, or even foam darts within an allotted time.
And our region is not immune. York Region is seeing a big uptick in assassin players in the community. So many, they've turned to social media to warn against the dangers of a seemingly harmless game.
Some of these firearms being used are replica firearms that actually look real. And so the concern is that we respond to weapons calls and officers are required to make quick decisions regarding whether the weapon is real, a toy, or a replica.
York Regional Police say officers have responded to 8 weapons calls so far this year because of the game.
To someone not aware of this type of game or what's happening around them, they might think it's real.
And more than that, bringing something that looks like a real firearm or like it could be a real firearm into a public space could be deadly.
There have been police-involved shootings where the firearm is actually later determined to be a replica.
Police are asking parents to pay attention to their kids and talk to them about what could happen if they're using a toy firearm in public. And Sarah, police go on to say that if you're using a toy firearm while you're committing a crime like a robbery, you can face the same kind of weapon charges you get if you commit a crime with a real gun. Sarah.
All right, that's CTV's Jack Morris reporting live for us tonight. Thanks, Jack. Barrie Mayor Alex Nuttall brought forward a sweeping motion at City Council last night targeting drug use and homelessness.
Mandatory rehabilitation for those who can't make the decision for themselves, who are in a position where they've broken the law.
The proposal calls on police to adopt a zero-tolerance approach to drug use and urges the County of Simcoe to transfer funding and responsibility for homelessness response to the city. It includes hiring new municipal staff to manage that response and introducing rules that would allow bylaw officers to fine property owners who rent to illegal dispensaries. While far-reaching, some viewed the vote as largely symbolic, signaling support for mandatory rehabilitation.
I won't speak at length, but I think it's important for me to speak because I won't be voting in favor. At this point in time, it'll be interesting to see if this is supported and where it goes and where this whole conversation goes, knowing that in Ontario, we do have a mental health and addiction system that's really trying to build centers of excellence. There's a lot of groundwork, but we don't yet have a system.
In the end, despite opposition from councillors Anne-Marie Kungle, who just heard from there, and Amy Corser, the motion passed. The city will now send letters to police, the County of Simcoe, and both levels of government. Overpasses on some parts of Highway 401 were lined today with people paying their respects to an OPP officer who died on the job. This was a view of the procession bringing the body of Sergeant Brandon Malcolm to a coroner's office in Oshawa. The 33-year-old was killed on Monday in a single-vehicle motorcycle crash outside of Cobourg. Funeral arrangements have not yet been announced. And taking you now to a look at our roads here in Barrie at this hour. Let's take a live look. That's Highway 400 along the Dunlop Curve. Traffic easing through the area, but if you'll be on this stretch of road a little later tonight, a reminder that the southbound collector off-ramp at Dunlop Street and Simcoe Road 90 will be closed overnight as crews complete some work in that area. Now to the Barrie Marina. Far less traffic on the water. Yes, not as busy. There's one lone duck feeding under an overcast sky. It was a windy day with near freezing temperatures expected tonight. That, of course, could damage plants, trees, and crops that are outside. But for more on that, let's head out to Bob's Garden because Luke has us covered tonight. Looks quite bright at this moment. Luke?
Well, Sarah, it's bright, but don't let that sun fool you because it's really not letting on any of these warm vibes that we were getting from that traffic cam either. The winds are coming from the northwest. It's cooler winds, and it's going to get quite cold tonight as well, dipping below zero for the next few days as our overnight lows. So, yeah, don't let the sun fool you, but it is quite nice as we are heading our way to May. Yes, May 1st tomorrow. Let's go and take our first look at weather, brought to you by the graveldrivewayguy.com, your local gravel driveway expert. We did reach a high of 9 degrees today. The winds from the west, 22 kilometers. We're going to see that slowly go from the north as well, which is why you're feeling these cooler winds really make their way right through Simcoe County. Taking a look around the region, you are seeing 11 degrees in Orillia, 7 in Allison, 6 in Collingwood, 12 in Toronto. In the further north we go, 7 degrees in Parry Sound as well as Algonquin Park. Taking a look at the radar and satellite, well, a nice change of pace from yesterday with those cloudy and rainy conditions. We saw a mix of sun and cloud today. We're going to see some partly cloudy conditions as we make our way into tonight. But of course, I am here to tell you that there is a slight chance of some rain and potential snow because we are dipping down below zero as we make our way into tomorrow morning. Sarah?
All right, we'll see you a little later in the newscast. The York Regional Police Service Board has named its next chief of police. Starting in June, Deputy Chief Paulo da Silva will be appointed to the helm after more than 31 years of experience, currently leading the community safety branch. He will succeed Chief Jim McSween following his retirement. That's slated for June 26th. To our courts now, where a jury has reached a verdict in the sex trafficking trial of the founder of Innisfil Pride. As CTV's Mike Arcelides reports, the accusations include exploiting women in the sex trade.
A jury has found 39-year-old Jake Tucker guilty on 7 of 10 human trafficking and assault charges, following more than 2 weeks of trial and 6 hours of deliberations.
Everybody worked hard and they were doing their jobs. I just feel like there was a lot that was overlooked.
Tucker was acquitted on 3 counts of assault, sexual assault, and assault with a weapon. While not getting into specifics, Tucker, who founded Innisfil Pride and twice ran in provincial elections, says the charges were motivated by family court proceedings and plans to appeal the jury's verdict. The allegations first surfaced in 2022 when one woman came forward to police, alleging she was sex trafficked by Tucker for years. Police then reached out to another woman who said she too worked for Tucker in the sex trade. The Crown argued Tucker advertised her sexual services, drove them to and from clients, and drugged them when they didn't want to work. One woman told the court Tucker used a taser on her. The defense maintained Tucker is innocent, and the women who admitted to being addicted to drugs for several years while working in the sex trade were lying about Tucker's involvement and that their testimony was unreliable. The defense saying the police investigation into Tucker was flawed and conducted poorly.
Did you run an escort business?
No, I did not.
What did you run? What were you doing? What was your employment at this time?
I actually ran a swingers club, and I worked for a U-Haul and a food truck and drove school bus. So I feel like anything else would make it impossible to do.
So you're not a pimp?
No, I am not. Definitely not.
The Crown said Tucker held a position of trust, power, and authority over the women, and they were exploited working for his escort business. The women testified they needed the money to get by and feed their drug habits, and that Tucker was there to take the photos of their sexual services ads, arrange meetings with clients, supply them drugs, and collect the money before they got their cut. The Crown referred to Tucker's actions as coercive, aggressive, and violent. Tucker left the courthouse surrounded by loved ones.
I am more than grateful for the people who have stuck beside me, knowing the entirety of the story. They have supported me from day one, and they have been my rock.
Tucker is scheduled to return to court in a month to set a sentencing hearing date. Mike Arcelides, CTV News, Barrie.
2 people have been taken to hospital after a collision in Vaughan. The CTV News chopper was over the scene near Highway 7 and North Rivermead Road, which turns into Centre Street. Police say it happened around 3:30 p.m. and involved 2 cars. Both drivers were taken to hospital with one of their injuries being described as serious. Roads are still closed in all directions this hour, we are told. That is as emergency crews are still on scene. Canada has been chosen as the host country for a new multinational defense security and resilience bank. Though details are still being worked out, CTV's Judy Trin brings us more on what we know so far.
As NATO nations ramp up to spend 5% of their GDP on defense by 2035, A new multinational bank with headquarters in Canada is being created to help smaller companies access loans to expand.
By pooling together, we're stronger financially, and it's a testament to Canada's reputation, Canada's commitment, Canada's financial expertise.
The Defence, Security and Resilience Bank could consist of as many as 40 NATO nations and allies, all contributing to a funding pool of $135 billion US.
We have in the Ottawa office.
This Ottawa technology company uses AI to help the Royal Canadian Navy analyze the moves of enemy ships. Anvil wants to expand to Europe and is hoping the multinational defense bank will open doors.
Having people who have walked that path before and can help guide successful companies like ours through that path, I think that's a major benefit for Canada, and I'm very hopeful that the DSRB will be that will be one of those conduits.
Where in Canada the defense bank will be located hasn't been determined, but the lobbying has already begun from Vancouver to Montreal to Toronto.
We have all the banks here, the financial sector here.
The national capital is also making a case.
We're the home of 130 plus foreign missions and embassies. The World Bank is in Washington. It's not in New York City. This is the place where defense innovation is happening.
At this point, no start date for the bank has been set, and it's also unclear how much each member nation, including Canada, will contribute to the pool of funds. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
The Premier was meeting with consul generals from a number of other countries today as he works to push Ontario as a global trading hub. CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris has more from that discussion.
After weeks of intense criticism, slipping polling numbers, and a recent retreat from reporters' questions, Premier Doug Ford co-hosted a roundtable high above downtown Toronto, welcoming 15 consuls general from around the world.
To hear from each and every one of you how we can increase trade on both sides, ourselves and within your countries as well.
Part of the drive to diversify Ontario's trade, still challenged by American tariffs. The visuals reminiscent of Ford's peak Captain Canada days, leading the Council of the Federation.
I see today's meeting as a course correction, a deliberate, clear, unmistakable attempt by him and his office to get back to the issues that work best for him with voters.
Speaking with CTV News, the Premier brushed off criticism from those who wonder if he's lost his way.
In politics, you're up, you're down, and we're still in a strong position. And we're going to keep moving forward.
The government's recent purchase and return of a jet for the Premier's use at work raised questions about whether he understands what Ontarians are going through. Are you taking any of that to heart?
Well, not at all, considering I'm the only guy in the world, not Canada, in the entire world, that hands out his phone number. I could pull my phone out right now, and I'll show you. I am at every minute and a half, I'm behind 9,323 messages.
Keeping what's on that phone out of public view is behind a recent overhaul to freedom of information laws. Those changes are now keeping records related to removal of land from the Greenbelt secret.
As far as I'm concerned, that's quite a ways ago, a long time ago. We're moving forward. We're going to focus on the economy and the jobs, and that's what people are concerned about.
That's not how the Liberals see it.
No, actually, the RCMP are still investigating it. People want to know why.
The NDP leader believes Ontarians should get to see inside those files.
It's not only about the Greenbelt, it's about how does the government make decisions and on whose behalf.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Barrie's Waterfront is ramping up for the start of the marina season, even as some construction work it continues in that area. Now the Barrie Marina officially opens tomorrow, marking the beginning of the boating season along Lake Simcoe. Meanwhile, the city is completing boardwalk infrastructure improvements with walkway removal and replacement work underway. The boardwalk will be closed until May 10th, with pedestrians asked to use the west side of Lakeshore Drive and to keep in mind that part of the parking lot is also temporarily closed. There is a buzz in the air as the country prepares to host the 2026 FIFA World Cup. And while the games will be held in Toronto, one team will be practicing and staying particularly close to our home. CTV's Luke Samart brings us more.
Driving along Highway 89, it wouldn't be hard to spot construction happening at Nottawasaga Resort. For the first time since 1994, the resort will be the home base for a men's FIFA World Cup team, Panama.
This is our primary pitch that we're getting ready for the FIFA base camp, and super excited to finally get the grass down.
The field has been under construction since November and is the only base camp in Canada where the team can walk from their hotel to a field.
We are the home away from home for any team, so they have the accommodation, they have their fields that they just walk up to, which is very important for them, so they don't need to travel anywhere. The gym's on site, food and beverage, so we take care of them.
Another way they are taking care of the team is providing privacy while they train.
They are practicing for the World Cup, so it is private, it's fenced off. It is not open to viewers or just the community in general. It is very detailed.
Every blade of grass, every speck of dirt will replicate the fields featured throughout the tournament.
There's anywhere from 8 inches to 18 inches of new soil to balance out the grade of the field. But we're really, really happy because with laser grading, we're within about 2 millimeters across this whole surface, and we have the perfect pitch across the field,
leaving no stone unturned in the process.
Take off topsoil that we had on the field, regrade the field, install underground drainage in the field, update our sprinkler system for the field, regrade the field again to a specific percentage slope that FIFA was looking for to match their criteria.
A full circle moment for the Biffis family, the pitch being built on the same plot of land their family used to grow and sell sod on.
Here we're on the same field where the first nursery sod farm was in Ontario, and now we brought it up to FIFA standard, and we're going to having a World Cup team Panama, and we welcome them.
Panama is expected to arrive at the Nottawasaga base camp in early June and begin preparing for their first World Cup match on June 19th against Ghana in Toronto. Luke Samard, CTV News, New Tecumseth.
Well, the Barrie Colts are now in a must-win situation in their Eastern Conference series against the Brantford Bulldogs after coming out on the losing end in Game 4. That, of course, all went down at Sadlon Arena. That's where we find our Rob Cooper tonight, joining us live with more on the anticipation for tonight's matchup. Rob.
Well, after splitting the first 2 games of this series on the road, Sarah, Barrie came home losing games 3 and 4 here at Sadlon Arena, now trailing the best of 7, 3-1. So tonight's game is absolutely a must-win situation for Barrie. A loss by the Colts, and their season is over. Players and coaches load up their gear onto the team bus outside Sadlon Arena this afternoon before heading to Brantford for tonight's Game 5. A short bus trip with a lot on the line.
Yeah, I think it's the same approach. You know, we come into every game thinking the same thing. We got to get a win, and had a good practice yesterday, and we're excited for the game today.
Players and coaches focused on the game and getting back in the series. The coaching staff say no real changes are planned to the lineup. No pep talk, just another game that's a must-win.
So the fact that there is no tomorrow for us doesn't really make a huge difference. We're going in with the same mentality, the same preparation. You know, everyone's very excited for the game.
The Bulldogs took a commanding 3-1 series lead after trouncing the Colts 6-1 on Tuesday. Barrie needs a win tonight to force a 6th game back on home ice Saturday night. And the battle extends beyond the ice as 2 home hardware stores playfully jostle. This one in Brantford reads, "It's time to bury the Colts. Go Bulldogs." This home hardware on Bayfield Street reads, "Time to leash the Bulldogs."
It's important to have that kind of camaraderie with our sports teams in the city and the people that live in the city. Yeah, absolutely. We're all Barrie Colts all the way here.
All right, back live outside Sadlon Arena. Again, keep in mind tonight's game is in Brantford. It is a 7 o'clock start. Spoke with the coaching staff earlier today, not expecting to make any changes to the lineup from the last game. Sarah, call it do or die, backs to the wall, all in. Whatever it is, the Colts have to win to continue their season and force a Game 6 back here on the weekend. Reporting live in Barrie, I'm Rob Cooper, saying back to you in the newsroom.
Go Colts. Thanks for that, Rob. We will have the highlights from the game tonight on CTV News Barrie at 11.
The road to the Memorial Cup is brought to you by the Boots and Hearts Barn Burner Charity Hockey Game.
Still to come, embracing rich Métis heritage. A day to share how the history is passed down through the ages. Plus, pushing forward with a rail trail heading north. We'll take you to Station Park. Stay with us. You're watching CTV News Barrie. Thanks for staying with us. The County of Simcoe celebrated a major milestone today with the grand opening of the newly extended Barrie-Collingwood Rail Trail.
Stretching from Collingwood through Stayner, New Lowell and Angus, and many other villages and towns along the way, this trail strengthens links between our communities and opens the door to new adventures.
The trail extension adds approximately 23 kilometers, bringing the total length from Collingwood to Angus to nearly 34 kilometers.
Held at Station Park in Stayner, the event marks a step forward for active transportation in the region. Officials say the project highlights a growing commitment to building stronger, more connected communities across Simcoe County.
But it's the exercise, it's getting out, experiencing good times with your neighbors, making memories that you'll have forever. These type of projects, they do not happen overnight. This is years in the making.
The trail will create opportunities to welcome people into our community and also offering residents and visitors a safe and scenic space to walk and cycle and connect with neighboring communities. It's truly something special.
More than 48,000 pounds of screened gravel were needed to complete the project, extending a rail system that leads back to 1850. I still remember when the tracks ran along many of those trails. Well, it takes a village to raise a child, but it also takes a village to remember one. Those are the words of Mallory and Dave Holmes. Their daughter, Charlie Claire, passed away the day she was born in 2011, and they founded Charlie's Walk to honor those affected by prenatal and infant loss. This year, proceeds will support the purchase of a new incubator for the NICU and Angel Eyes technology, a live feed that allows parents and family members to stay virtually connected to their baby during extended stays at the hospital inside the unit.
The more I realized how often it happens here, like no one talks about the losses and they happen so often. Every time you go to obstetrics, there's always a butterfly on the door and you know that one is happening. They really wanted to raise awareness and then also help improve the care that we can provide for these families.
That is at the Aurelia Soldiers Memorial Hospital. Now, this Saturday will mark Heather, who we just heard from, her 7th Charlie's Walk, and there is still room for more. Join the family fun runner walk again this Saturday, 9 a.m. at Tudhope Park in Aurelia. An estimated 800,000 people here in Canada identify as Métis, and in Simcoe County, a special event is bringing that heritage to life.
There is a famous quote by Louis Riel where he said, "My people will sleep for 100 years, and it'll be the artists who give them their spirit back."
Honoring our grandmothers, Métis Cultural Festival is a day of art, education, and enlightenment open to all. It celebrates the heart of Métis culture, grandmothers, and the women who teach, guide, and share traditions across generations.
Women are the strength of Indigenous communities, especially for our Métis community, and so that's why we're bringing artists, visual artists, musicians, some filmmakers are coming out, and we're going to celebrate Métis art.
Honoring our grandmothers, Métis Cultural Festival takes place Sunday at the Allendale Recreational Centre in Barrie. If you're looking for more information about any of these local events, or perhaps more that are happening over the weekend, because there are many and we do expand on them, you need to go to our website. That's ctvnews.ca/Barrie, or scan the QR code on your screen. Still to come, it is a story 12 years in the making. From a senseless tragedy, an important message, and an unbreakable bond between victim and first responder. That's coming up in just a few minutes. But first, let's check in with Luke. He's in the garden.
Well, Sarah, we're glad you're warm in the studio. Don't let the sun fool you. It is cold outside with these winds. There might be some warmer temperatures in the forecast. You're going to have to stay tuned to find out when that will be. But first, let's go and take a look at our weather watcher, Pierre. Pierre's ready for those warm temperatures. It looks like he is going to be swimming in the pool soon. We got to make sure your parents open that pool first, though, Pierre. Pierre, thank you so much for that picture. Stay with us. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
Hi, we're Martin and Steph
from Bounce 104.1.
And next week we've got lots of prizes to give away, including tickets to see the Monster Spectacular.
And a fishing rod a day in May, brought to you by Midland Canadian Tire.
And don't forget about the Bounce boarding call, where you can win a $4,000 travel voucher and $1,000 cash.
So make sure you're listening Monday to Friday from 5:30 to 10 for your chance to win.
Picture this, brought to you by Bounce 104.1 and Pure Country 106.
It is all about trying something new this week on CTV Barrie. So to continue to capture those moments and email them to us, picture this at ctv.ca for a chance to be featured. Now, this time of the year is often when many flock to Toronto to take in the sights of the city's cherry blossoms. Our CTV News helicopter flew over High Park earlier today as the trees are expected to reach their peak tomorrow. The beautiful scene is a huge draw with thousands stopping by every year to snap photos and celebrate the sure sign that warmer weather is inevitably on the way. Now, Luke, combining that with trying something new, anything botany related, I understand, would be new for you. So let's plant something. You can even add it to the group of little seedlings on my desk, and we'll keep it alive together. What would you like to plant?
Let's just go with the classic sunflower. What do you think?
On my desk?
Yeah, well, you know how big they grow, right? Like the 9 feet tall ones.
I was suggesting maybe like a jade plant. They require very little sun, hardly any water. Let's start with something easy for you.
Well, it sounds like an excuse so we don't let it deflower itself, I guess we could say, right? We want something that's easy to plant, easy to take care of, no water, no nothing. And if you're worried about your plants in this cold weather, well, if you can, you might want to take those plants inside tonight, because we're seeing those temperatures dip below 0 degrees for the next few days. Let's go take a look at our temperatures right now outside your windows. 8 degrees in Mount Forest, 9 degrees in Owen Sound, as well as Gravenhurst, 6 in Collingwood, 10 in Orillia. We're also seeing 12 degrees in Toronto. It's a beautiful afternoon here despite these temperatures. A nice mix of sun and cloud. We did reach a high of 9 degrees today, a low of 1.4. Still sitting, well, below those normals for this time of year. I can't believe we're almost in May and we're talking about temperatures below 0. The record 26.7 in 1899. 2012 was our record low of -9. And the daylight just continues to get more and more, longer and longer. 14 hours and change of daylight. Taking a look at the radar, we'll see some clouds overnight and into tomorrow morning, but a mix of sun and cloud and a slight chance of precipitation. Like we said, you could see some rain. These cooler conditions, it could actually turn to snow in some areas of Simcoe County and beyond. But other than that, it's gearing up to be an okay weekend. Well, unless you don't like those -3 temperatures on your screen right now, right through the region. Partly cloudy as well. Could see -5 in Owen Sound throughout the night. Partly cloudy conditions. 30% chance of rain as you make your way into tomorrow. And we're going to see highs kind of what we saw today. 8 degrees right through the region. We're going to see that 30% chance of showers in the afternoon, but you could see some sunny breaks in there as well. 10 degrees in Owen Sound, so seeing the double digits there. Meanwhile, further south in York Region, overnight lows of -4. You're going to see mainly cloudy conditions tonight. -2 in Richmond Hill, -5 in Orangeville, with those cloudy conditions really continuing. Tomorrow, once again, a slight chance of some rain throughout the day, but you could just see, once again, a mix of sun and cloud, more on the cloudy side throughout York Region, with some sunny breaks indeed. A high of 11, so slightly warmer than Simcoe County. Further north we go, overnight, -4. You're going to see those mainly cloudy conditions continue right through Gravenhurst, all the way up to Huntsville, as well as Parry Sound and Haliburton. Tomorrow, you could see that slight chance of some rain again, and we're seeing these temperatures just below 10 degrees at 9. So overall, a fairly nice day tomorrow, but it's still going to creep down into those overnight lows below 0. So that's something that we're watching for as we make our way into the weekend here. And time now for a look at the Diamond and Diamond 5-day forecast. Well, we talked about these cooler temperatures. When's it going to get warmer? Well, we can start to see it get warmer by the beginning of next week. Now, warmer is in, well, we'll get back to our normals for this time of year at the beginning of May, but it's going to be a fairly wet 5 days. You could see some rain in the forecast. Monday, Tuesday, we are back to those normals, 13 degrees and 15 degrees. Our overnight lows are also beginning to increase as of Saturday night as well. The weekend in York Region, well, that's a nice change. We are avoiding that rain for at least a little bit. You could see highs at 12 and 13 degrees, mainly sunny conditions. But the rain does return to start the week. But we're going to see these temperatures once again slowly start to increase, highs of 17 and 15 for our Monday and Tuesday. What about Muskoka, Parry Sound, and Haliburton? Well, that slight chance of rain right through the weekend. We're looking at about a 30% chance in the afternoon, a mix of sun and cloud. We do return to double digits on Sunday with a high of 12. But once again, we are starting the week off Monday and Tuesday with some rain. So if you don't know what jacket to wear if you're heading out the door for work, well, you might need to layer yourself as you make your way into the weekend. Sarah?
Back in 2014, tragedy struck along a quiet road in downtown Barrie. It was a hit and run by a drunk driver that left a young woman bloodied and bruised along the side of the road. But the story we're about to share isn't just about that. It's about a beautiful friendship that blossomed between the victim and a detective constable with the Barrie Police Service. That from there, he was there that very first fateful night.
When I heard that bang, it was unbelievable.
And then the screams.
And then the screams and the screams.
I remember waking up on the road after I had been pulled out from the car. Like, bystanders who lived around here heard me screaming and came out to help.
That's Mallory Wild recalling what she can from the wee hours on the morning of August 11th of 2014.
When she was struck, her body went into the actual windshield, and when she came back out, it took a clump of her hair that's still stuck in the windshield.
Barrie Police Detective Constable Rick Hewson was one of the first on the scene.
Then she was ran over by that vehicle, dragged, and that Honda Civic smoked the red Charger. So now she's still under the vehicle, and it catapulted her out, and now she ended up under the vehicle of the red Charger.
She's saying, put me to sleep, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. So all that I could do was just talk to her, try to take her mind off it, tell her that things were going to be okay.
It would be more than a year before the 20-year-old will be sentenced for impaired driving causing bodily harm. But the relationship that would grow from this senseless tragedy, now 12 years strong.
One of my jobs was to check the conditions of the victim, and I stayed in contact with the family. It ended up that I became close with Mallory's father, mother, and her sister. Things just morphed into a natural relationship.
How many years have you been part of the service?
I'm in my 24th year. Yeah.
Do these types of things often happen?
No, no. You know what? They don't often happen.
What does that support from Rick mean to you? How has that helped you?
It's just a nice, comfortable ear, like someone that I could call that I'm comfortable being myself with to ask for advice. Now that I finished school, I'm planning on taking the board exam for acupuncture, but...
Those 3 a.m. calls from you, waking me up, asking for advice, or you doing something, you know what, those are great.
Yeah. And the need for more advice now on the way.
You spoke specifically about how when learning about the pregnancy, that was something that was emotional for you. Why was that?
Well, you know what, I'm a father myself, and I have a couple of girls.
The baby shower's on the 31st if you're coming. Yeah. It's really all into your mindset and trying to find the silver linings and the positives of things. Things could always be worse. I could have lost my leg, but I still have it. I could have died, but I'm still here.
He was overserved in 2 bars.
Don't drink and drive. You never know if you're going to ruin your own life. You don't know if you're going to ruin somebody else's life. At the end of the day, it's just not worth it.
That could have easily been a fatality, right? So even though Mallory's had 27 surgeries, she's still with us, right? Now she can start a new chapter, right?
That new chapter due in just a few months, and the name still up for lighthearted discussion.
Ricky with an I? No? No?
A little Ricky girl?
I'm just kidding with you.
That was a very meaningful story to put together. Still to come, this is sure to make your ears perk up. How to make the most of our gas, from savings at the pump to how to best use what we can afford. We'll talk about that next. Recapping our top stories, the senior assassin phenomena is growing across the country. That's where teens are hunting each other with water or Nerf guns. York Regional Police say officers have responded to 8 weapons calls because of the game, asking parents to pay attention to their kids and talk to them about the dangers of using a toy firearm in public. A jury has found Jake Tucker guilty on 7 counts of human trafficking and assault following a more than 2-week trial. The founder of Innisfil Pride was convicted of exploiting women in the sex trade. Tucker has vowed to appeal the verdict. And Barrie City Council has passed a motion for police to adopt a zero-tolerance approach to drug use and urged the County of Simcoe to transfer responsibility for homelessness response to the city. It also includes hiring new municipal staff to manage that response and introducing rules that would allow bylaw officers to fine property owners who rent to illegal dispensaries. Well, drivers, you may want to fill up sooner rather than later. Gas could cost you more over the next couple of days. Dan McTagg with Canadians for Affordable Energy is warning drivers to expect the spike spike. In Barrie, regular gas is already sitting at around $1.81.9 per litre, up from Wednesday. Premium is also rising, while diesel holds steady for now, but could climb sharply in the days ahead. So how can consumers make the most of coping with these high gas prices? Is there a way to get through this difficult time? John Benny Valley Rao tackles that assignment.
Let's go check your tire pressure.
Teresa DeFelice with the CAA showed us one of the easiest things drivers looking to save on gas should do right now. Check the tire pressures on their vehicle and make sure they're at the recommended level, which is listed on a sticker you can find inside the driver's side door jamb.
Underinflated tires can reduce your fuel efficiency by 4%.
If a tire is underinflated, it has a higher rolling resistance, and the tire has to work harder to get down the road. A survey last year found only about a quarter of Canadian motorists check their tire pressure monthly. Another thing you can do, look in the trunk to see if there's anything you don't need and remove it. An extra 45 kilograms or 100 pounds in a vehicle can increase fuel consumption up to 1%.
If you were carrying around a bag of salt or sand to weigh down your car in the snow, it's time to take it out and help your fuel efficiency.
If you've got roof racks or bikes hanging off the rear, remove them when not in use because they can, of course, impact the vehicle's aerodynamics.
It causes a drag on your car, and your car has to work harder, which means it's using more fuel.
And experts say try to drive evenly and avoid hard acceleration and sudden braking whenever possible, with aggressive driving shown to lower gas mileage 15 to 30% at highway speeds. Consider using cruise control on the highway to make things steady.
It's nice to have slow acceleration, gradual speed increase.
According to Consumer Reports, another tip, skip the premium gas unless a higher octane is required for your vehicle. And checking gas prices online using apps and websites can help find cheaper prices in your area. That's because experts say prices can vary as much as 10 cents between stations, so it can pay to check. John Benavali Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
Stalled talks between the U.S. and Iran are raising doubts over the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz and an end to the war. That has caused oil prices to spike, hitting the highest level in 4 years. With that, let's take a look at our markets. The TSX was up 645 points, the Dow was up 790, and the Nasdaq was up 219. And commodities, oil was down, closing at $105 a barrel. Gold was up, finishing at $4,629 an ounce, and our dollar was up, ending the day at 73.40 cents U.S. It is a deadline that is fast approaching. Most Canadians have until the end of the day today to file their 2025 income taxes. CTV's Scott Hurst with some timely advice from experts.
It may seem daunting if you have not yet filed your taxes just hours before the deadline, but for so many of us, it can be beneficial too. Last year, Canadians filed more than 33 million tax returns, with 93% filed online. The Revenue Agency says backlogs and delays are being addressed in part through AI-driven modernization and claims responsiveness has doubled. In fact, according to the CRA, more than $45 billion in refunds were delivered last year, with taxpayers getting an average refund of about $2,000. Experts often suggest putting most toward debt or savings while setting aside a smaller portion for fun. A recent survey by EQ Bank found only about 9% of those expecting a refund plan to spend it on discretionary items like traveling or dining out.
Double check your slips. Make sure that you've got all the slips. Look at your last year's tax return to make sure it looks consistent. This is the final chance for accuracy and completeness, because once you file it, to make changes, you have to go through a formal process to do that. So try to get things right, immediately.
Other suggestions for that refund include putting it towards a tax-free savings account, a TFSA or RRSP, a family emergency fund, or paying down high-interest debt such as lines of credit or credit cards. Today may be the deadline for most. However, if you are self-employed, you still have more time to file. Officially, that deadline is June 15th. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
Next on CTV News Barrie, why sometimes the fast lane isn't for everyone. Why this family decided to step away from the hustle and bustle to embrace the rural life. Their story coming right up. Here's a look at your primetime lineup. 4 back-to-back episodes of New Girl starting at 8, followed by Criminal Minds at 10 p.m. and CTV News Barrie at 11. Welcome back. This next story comes straight from the horse's mouth. A family in East Lawrencetown, Nova Scotia, traded in city living for hay barrels. As CTV's Brianne Foley shows us, for them, the farm life is the good life.
Susie Grady and her family bought a farm to care for her older horse. Then they added mini horses, and it's become a lifestyle.
It's a great opportunity for Poppy because she's outside all the time. She's learning to care for another animal. It's just the responsibility, and we enjoy this, and it's just something that brings our family together.
Her 12-year-old daughter Poppy loves the farm life and what it teaches her.
Well, when I first started riding, I was 4 years old, and when we moved here, I'm pretty sure I was 9. I think it's just like being on the horse and having the bond with an animal. It's just really special to have. I feel like looking after them and being responsible for them has taught me a lot in just caring for another life, basically.
Susie says mini horses are therapy for young and old.
We take the minis out for walks, and every time we do, people are stopping us. And then because of that, it kind of gave me the idea that, well, maybe we should invite people up. And that's how we started our first event last October. And from there, it just kind of grew.
When I first seen them, I honestly didn't even know that they existed. And I was just so amazed by them. And then as we got more and more, I just love them even more now. Misty, come on.
They have 11 minis. Milo is the youngest, born 3 weeks ago, an experience that was eye-opening for Poppy.
Well, I've never actually seen it before, like in person. I've seen many videos of it, but it was really cool to watch it actually happen in person.
Mini horses live 35 to 40 years, making them the perfect pet for Susie.
And if anybody knows me, they know it's very odd for me not to have a dog, but these really replace the dogs. You do everything you can with a dog, and they stay outside, and they live a heck of a lot longer.
They also offer Pony Club, where people can learn to groom them and take them for a walk, with even more events coming soon. Brianne Foley, CTV News, East Lawrencetown, Nova Scotia.
Now that is an assignment. I know you have something exciting coming up tomorrow. Not quite miniature horses, though.
Not miniature horses, but I could be taking my talents to the circus, Sarah. I really could be. So you have to stay tuned to see what we get up to tomorrow night. But for tomorrow morning, if you are going to be heading out on the road, well, look at those temperatures. We are sitting below zero in Newmarket, Gravenhurst, -1, -2, 0 degrees in Barrie, with some more cloudy conditions. Sarah?
Thanks so much for covering our weather duties. Luke will be back tomorrow as we give Casey one more day of vacation. I'm Sarah Freemark. Thanks so much for being here with us tonight. Jack will put a bow on it tonight at 11. Take care.